Hello, good morning everyone. How are you? Today we're going to be talking about how to overcome boredom eating. Boredom eating is something that I hear a lot of. A lot of us do it. And when you're bored, that's something you're feeling. And when you're feeling whatever it is you're feeling, like if boredom is something that you're feeling at the time, that's an emotion. So it's in a form of emotional eating. So we're going to talk about some ways that you can try to break this habit, because that's just it. You've gotten into a habit of doing this. You've gotten into a habit of eating out of boredom, and it's just a matter of breaking those habits, creating some new ones so that that's not your first thing to go to is food when you're feeling bored. Okay, so I'm Kelsie Michaud, health and life coach, and I help people gain control of emotional eating so that they can just feel healthy and confident and full of energy and vibrant in the skin that they're in. So sometimes we eat for other reasons than just simply being hungry. So if you're coming on, please say hello. I'd love to know that you're here. I see these little numbers in the corner, but sometimes it doesn't tell me that you're actually here. So say hi, and if you happen to catch the replay, #replay, so I know you're here. I'd love to say hello to you as well. So hi Renee, how are you? Thanks for coming on today. Let's see. Hi Joanne, thanks for coming on. How are you? So we're talking about how to overcome some boredom eating, okay? Because I know we're all pretty guilty of it. I think it's safe to say, right? So like I was saying, sometimes it's really easy to eat for other than just being hungry. Hi Emily, how are you? So if you're eating when you're not hungry, that could mean that you're eating because you're bored or you're stressed. So these are all forms of emotional eating. And we're all guilty of that mindless eating, right? You know, from time to time or on occasion. But if you find that you're overeating more than you really want to be, you might want to try to be a little extra mindful, because when we're eating when we're just bored or stressed, sometimes we're not thinking about it. We're just doing it. We're acting out of habit because that's the habit we've created. That's what we're used to doing. So by being a little extra mindful about your eating, then you might find that why you're eating other than being hungry. Okay, especially since emotional eating can be a problem for so many. So do you find that you reach for whatever's easiest to grab in the house, especially when you're just bored or lonely or stressed? And usually when that happens, when we're just reaching for what's easiest, it usually ends up being something that's not the healthiest, right? Sometimes it's usually junk food that we're craving at the time when we're feeling bored. So this is usually a good sign that you're eating out of boredom, because you're not concerned with the nutrients within the food that you're eating, and you're just simply eating for psychological reasons instead at that point. So planning out your meals and creating your shopping list, before you even go shopping, you want to be prepared, okay? So you want to be prepared with this nice list of nutrient-dense foods that can really help you along the way, so that if you do happen to be sitting around home and you're feeling a little bored, you have something a little more nutritious that's easy to grab as well, because all of our healthy, nutritious foods can be easy to grab. It's just a matter of allowing them to be. Okay, so planning out those meals and planning out that shopping list ahead of time can help. And certainly don't feel guilty, of course, if you do end up grabbing something that's a little less nutrient dense, that's a little more towards the junk food side of things, because that's okay. But if you're being prepared and you have this nice structure for yourself, that can go a long way. Okay. And another way that shows that you're eating out of boredom is if you've eaten already, but then you go back for more in like an hour or so, not too long after you've already eaten. This is a typical sign of an emotional eater. People who are emotional eaters will tend to graze all day long. You're never really feeling satisfied, because you're feeding your emotions rather than feeding your true hunger. So again, this is where having a plan in place can really help. So even if you're eating because you're bored, grazing could also be a sign that you don't feel really satisfied with your meals. So this is what's really important here. you're going to want to make sure that you're planning out balanced and really satisfying meals, okay? Rather than just grabbing something quick, you want to make sure that you're grabbing something that's completely balanced and that's going to satisfy you. Because if you're still going back for more, you might just be needing to add some protein or a healthy fat, which is going to help make that all balanced for you so that you're not continuing to want or need to go back for more, okay? And balanced snacks and meals will also help you to maintain a healthy level for your metabolism and keeps your energy up. So that's a win-win for me right there, okay? So do you find that if you're in front of the fridge, you're kind of looking for answers? Do you ever open up the fridge and just kind of stand there and kind of gaze off aimlessly, kind of like, tell me the answer. Tell me what I need right now. Tell me, what am I going to have? Well, when you open the fridge, maybe you're hoping it's going to tell you that answer. You're hoping it's going to tell you something. If it's not your stomach that's leading you to that fridge in the first place, with that clear direction of knowing what and how much to eat, this is a huge clue for you that you're probably just bored. You're eating when you're bored, okay? So you should know ahead of time what you actually want to eat before you even get there, before you get to the kitchen, before you get to that fridge, okay? And if you can't remember, say, when you eat something, if you can't remember how the food actually tasted, that's another sign that you're eating out of boredom and you are just mindlessly eating. So what a lot of people will do is dissociate when they're eating out of boredom. Their mind kind of tends to wander. They lose track. They lose track of like how much they're eating or even that they were actually eating. Okay, that's how much our mind can actually wander off until something will jolt us and bring us back to reality. And if you do this mental check on yourself while you're eating, it's hard to remember sometimes if you're just mindlessly eating that you even ate, much less enjoyed it, whether you enjoyed it or not. Okay, and part of eating intuitively is that satisfaction factor. You want to really enjoy that food that you're eating so that you feel satisfied, your body feels satisfied, so your brain feels satisfied, and you're no longer wanting to continue to find something else, okay? So to help you to be more mindful, like sitting at the table without any electronics, no phone, no laptop, no iPad, none of that, no tablets, will help you to be able to be, eat more mindfully and actually enjoy your food and be sure that you're eating actually for fuel and satiety and not just out of habit. Okay, so if you have any questions as I go along, please feel free to ask away. Put it in the comments for me and I'll be happy to answer your questions. Hi, Stephanie. How are you? Thanks for coming on. So to stop eating out of boredom, it's really important too to be able to manage your stress levels. So stress plays a huge role in a lot of everything we do pretty much. Hey Rose, how are you? Thanks for coming on. So let's try to identify, first of all, and understand and manage your stress. Emotional eating is a sign that you're letting that stress get to you, okay? It's like you're letting the stress win. So you can control it in much healthier ways, through exercise for one, talking to a supportive friend, making sure you're getting enough and adequate sleep, okay? Not just the amount, but some nice, good, deep sleep can make a huge difference, because if you don't really get a good night's sleep, then first of all, if you're not getting enough, and if you're not getting a good night's sleep, that's going to cause you to have cravings or be a little hungrier the next day because your cortisol levels are up, okay? That affects your hormones if you're not getting enough sleep. So that's why sleep is so important. It can play a huge role in all of this, and all this emotional eating or just hunger or cravings and all of that, okay? So sleep is very important. And of course, eating a well-balanced diet. I just mentioned balance. You want to make sure everything's balanced. You want to have a nice, healthy carb, fat, and protein all together, which is going to help to keep your blood sugar more stable, okay? So you're not getting that blood sugar spike, which of course, once it goes up, it has to come down, right? And then when it comes down, it dips a little too low for us, and that's where we get those cravings. And of course, what do we crave? Usually sugar, all right? And once it goes up again, it comes back down, and then we crave more sugar. And there's that cycle that keeps us on that crazy roller coaster, that crazy sugar craving roller coaster that we don't want to be on. We want to get off. We want to get off that ride. So that's why it's so important when I talk about balanced meals and snacks, okay? So something else you can try is to create a food journal, okay? Make a nice little food journal for yourself. Go buy a nice pretty little journal or create one yourself at home. But this will help you stop with your mindless eating. You could even just take out a simple piece of paper and make 3 columns, okay? Make 3 columns. One will say, what type of food am I reaching for? The other is going to say, what's my emotional state? What's my emotional state right now? And then the last one, you want it to say, what's going on in my life right now that's leading to this emotion, okay? Because when I work with my clients, that's exactly what we do, is we dive deep into what's going on, into what you're actually feeling, because it's more about you and what's going on with you and all of your feelings and your emotions, whether they're on the surface or whether they're really deep. But if we don't get through all of that, if we don't uncover it all, then we can't get to the actual weight loss portion. Okay, a lot of times our emotions and our stress and all of that is what's holding us back from actually being able to let go, to let that weight go. Because when your body's under stress, think about it, like when you're stressed out, you're feeling a little more tense, right? So think of it as like your clenched fist. You're stressed, you're tense. Well, the minute that you're not stressed anymore, all of a sudden it kind of eases up and you kind of let go. Well, that's what the weight does. When you're stressed out, the weight is holding on to you. It's tense. It's staying right there. It's gripping onto you. And then when you're finally de-stress, allow your body to calm down and do some nice deep breathing or whatever techniques that you have in your back pocket that you know to use to help your body de-stress, and you finally start to be able to breathe lighter and easier and deeper and let it go, the weight goes with it. Okay, that's why it's so important to deal with the emotions and what's lying underneath. Sometimes with my clients, we go all the way back to childhood. Sometimes that's where some of this deep-seated emotion comes from that we hold on to. And so sometimes that's just what you have to do to finally get to your ultimate goal, but it's possible. So I kind of feel like I was getting a little off track there, but I get excited to do those kinds of things with my clients and with you guys. So like I said, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer your questions for you. So anyway, so if you have those 3 columns with those 3 questions for you, and also ask yourself, what's an alternative behavior to eating this junk food? What's something else I could do? All right, if I'm constantly turning to junk food because when I'm bored, what is something else I could do? All right, doing this can help you really pinpoint exactly what's driving that emotional eating. And something else you'll want to do is ask yourself if you're actually feeding your body or are you feeding your emotions? Because it's really important to make a distinction between the two, because eating to satiate hunger and give yourself nutrients, it's definitely different than eating to satiate that boredom or your stress or your anxiety or whatever it is you happen to be feeling. So of course, if you're truly hungry, it's more than okay to eat, absolutely. But if you find that you're simply eating out of just pure habit or stress, try doing something else to take your mind off of it for a bit and then see how you feel. And of course, you want to keep healthy foods on hand, right? Instead of having foods that make you prone to overeating, if you have those around, keeping healthy alternatives such as, fruit and sliced up vegetables. You could have like carrot sticks or some cut up peppers or cucumbers or whatever you like, broccoli, whatever you prefer. You could have that easily accessible, easy to grab, just as easy to grab as a processed packaged product, okay? If you do have some of your favorite junk foods on hand, then try maybe portioning them out, okay? Pour some into like a little bowl, rather than grabbing the whole bag out of the cupboard and sitting in with the bag, because if you sit with the bag, a few minutes later you might be like, I ate the whole bag, it's gone, what happened? I didn't mean to do that. because you're mindlessly eating. You're not even thinking about it. But when you just have a bowl portioned out, it's different. Okay, you eat the bowl full, but right, it's gone. You're done. That's it, right? So by actually portioning these out and pouring some into a bowl before you start eating can really help you to stop when you're actually full, and that's where honoring your fullness comes into play there, okay? And as always, you want to be kind to yourself and know that this is a process. Remember, it is a process. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not a magic pill. It's not a quick fix. But that's what makes my techniques lasting and sustainable and long-term, that you can just continue them for your life. You're not constantly looking for what else can I do? Well, how else can I fix this? Why am I still eating out of stress? Why am I still eating out of boredom? All of that goes away because you create these new habits. So it can be easy to beat yourself up when it comes to your current eating patterns, but that can just lead to more self-sabotage, okay? And like I said, you want to be kind to yourself. So be kind in a way that where you're working on changing like your self-talk to more something that's more positive, because self-talk, it can be your worst enemy or it can be your best friend. So when you think thoughts like, oh, I'm such an emotional mess, well, that's probably going to keep you stuck in your unhealthy patterns. Yeah, if you keep telling yourself that, then yeah, that's probably what's going to happen. That's how it's going to be. So if you switch your thoughts, reframe your thoughts and reframe it to, I'm going to take charge of my health and manage my stress better. Okay? Then yeah, that's probably what's going to happen, and that's how it's going to be. And that will lead to better behaviors and a healthier lifestyle for you in the long run. Okay? So I hope that was helpful for you, and let me know if you have any questions. And I'm also offering, I have 2 one-on-one spots available left for my one-on-one private coaching. I just wanted to throw out there for you. It's a nice 12-week program where, like I said, all of these techniques and tips and tricks and strategies that I put into place for you, you'll have to pull out of your back pocket at any time so that you can go and live just this super healthy lifestyle that you've been dying to live probably for a really, really long time, for many years, if not decades, that will just eventually come naturally to you. And that's how I teach it to become something that's long-term and lasting and sustainable for you. So let me know if you have any questions, and I also do complimentary consultations if you want to see if that's something that's a good fit for you. So if there's no questions now, I need to hop off, but I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a beautiful day. Bye, guys.